makalio ikaumia.
Na mkamfukuza usiku.
Ni reasonable doubt.
Iko hapa kama ex.
Leta hiyo makalio tuone.
Umemaliza maswali?
Umemaliza swali.
Kwa wapi tukichapa?
Nilikuwa kwa mliango nikakuja kusaidia mkaniambia you will be in the mix. Mimi nikawacha.
Ati
nitakuwa kwa mix. Yaani watanichapa pia hao.
Tuendelee.
Yes, obviously left me back.
Kuuliza nini?
Ameniuliza kama huyo msichana anampenda yeye mheshimiwa.
So, Jess, will you happen to have the cop's number? Sisi kosa number hapa kwa book.
What is your relationship with Darius?
Sending an OCS to ask me questions? Anafanya tu kazi yake. Don't you think Blackie will talk?
Everybody talks, Nick.
It's done.
How do I know you're not lying?
Unasema nini wewe? That's incompetent. That's what you are. Get out. Just get out of my sight. I don't want to ever set my eyes on you again. Out!
يا حي لا يموت بدعي بصوت وسكون.
Baraka nika aisaru hunna mihna. Baraka ni kambo kwamba iko na baraka kushinda zote, ni ile ambapo kwamba inakuwa yenye kutumia ama inakuwa ina matumizi ambapo kwamba ni madogo sana. Subhanallah, kuna baadhi ya watu ukimwambia au wanasema bwana mimi sina gharama bwana.
Mojawapo ya manufaa ya kuwa katika nikah ni kuepushwa na dhambi ya zinaa, ambayo dhambi hii huleta umaskini. Dhambi hii pia huleta ufukara na pia huweza kuleta ugonjwa ama magonjwa yasiyoweza kutibika na magonjwa ya aibu.
Well, good evening to you. Welcome to Prime Edition. It will be a short bulletin, obviously owing to the fact that we've just come from the Kenyatta International Convention Center for the CHAN 2024 draws. That is the African Nations Championship. And like just Daniel Wahome told you, Kenya has been placed in Group A, so has Tanzania in Group B, and Uganda in Group C, owing to the fact that all of them are hosting the CHAN 2024. That is the month of August. Remember, this tournament was postponed from February to August. But in Group A, Kenya appears to having the difficult matches because Morocco, Angola, DR Congo and Zambia are in Group A. Group B has Tanzania, like I told you, Madagascar, Mauritania, Burkina Faso, and there is also the Central African Republic, that is CAR. Group C has Uganda, Niger, Guinea, and there are two other remaining teams that will be named a little bit later. But then in Group D, we have Senegal, Congo, Sudan, and Nigeria. Welcome to Prime Edition. Let me inform you what has been happening across the country. Lensa Odingo is a sign language interpreter. My name is John Jacob Kioria. Now, the Idadab Member of Parliament, Farah Maalim, has been expelled from the Wiper Party following disparaging remarks he made at a rally in Uasin Gishu County. The announcement was made by the party leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, during a press conference where he said Maalim crossed the line with his remarks towards a section of Kenyans. However, Kalonzo did not disclose if the party has written to the Speaker of the National Assembly to relay their decision.
Once again, Dadaab Member of Parliament Farah Maalim finds himself in an all-too-familiar position. This time, the MP appears to have rubbed the party the wrong way.
Honorable Farah Maalim, who until now has been Wiper Democratic Party's deputy leader, stands expelled for violating the Constitution and the rights of Kenyans, and even abusing Kenyan mothers.
Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka says the decision was not easy to make, but noted that the lawmaker crossed the line when he made disparaging remarks towards a section of Kenyans.
Very heavy on my heart because I've known Mheshimiwa Farah. He used to be a reformist, campaigned for him seriously in Dadaab, against that time an ODM candidate, and we won for Wiper. Therefore, it doesn't give me any pleasure.
However, the party leader did not disclose if the party had notified the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, of their decision.
Even if, because there's that thing they always follow in the Constitution, unless somebody resigns in writing to Mr. Speaker, right? He will still sit there, like those renegade Jubilee MPs who are expelled. We know this.
Meanwhile, Kalonzo and his allies have demanded the resignation of top government officials who they accused of allegedly being behind the recent cases of enforced disappearances.
You've actually demonstrated leadership from the front because you've been in court. We'll fight them in court, we'll fight them in the streets.
This coming a day after Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi recorded a statement with the DCI at the Kilimani police station over who was behind the abduction of his son, who has since been released.
Honorable Muturi has been seeking answers for the past 6 months. They have not been forthcoming.
I would just say bring it on. I mean, at my age, I'm not the kind of person to respond to some of it is really very perfunctory statement made by fairly inexperienced politicians.
Meanwhile, the Kenyan National Commission on Human Rights has revealed that 25 Kenyans are still missing as of June last year. The Commission also at the same time said they have recorded 85 abduction cases from the same period in the country.
We also demand the immediate release of the remaining abductees.
Kalonzo Musyoka has urged Kenyans to wait with bated breath on the 27th of this month when the Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja as well as the DCI boss Amin Mohamed are expected to appear before the court to explain the whereabouts of individuals who cannot be accounted for till today. Abdiaziz Hashim from the SKM Center, Prime Edition.
From the Wiper politics, let's refocus our attention on the clinical officers' strike, really. And the Ministry of Health has exuded confidence that the ongoing talks to forestall the looming strike will bear fruit. Speaking a day after the talks between governors, the Ministry of Health, and the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers in Nairobi, the Health Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Deborah Mulongo Barasa, has urged for patience among health practitioners, vowing to address their demands.
Solidarity forever.
With 4 days left for the government to address issues raised by clinical officers who have threatened to down their tools starting Sunday, 19th January, the Minister of Health insists there is no need for alarm among Kenyans. According to Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Barasa, a consultative meeting called by Council of Governors on Tuesday in Nairobi has put the country in the right trajectory towards averting the clinician strike.
Accessibility is really critical, and one of the areas we're looking into is having the quality of care bill that will be able to be tabled, and ultimately will be able to have improved coverage and accessibility so that all the human resource for health will be able to offer services to Kenyans all over.
And on the issue of the professionals, this is an issue that has been raised. And even yesterday, as late as yesterday, there was a meeting between the Association of Clinicians, the Ministry, SHA, and other players with a view to find a solution to that issue. And I'm very confident that a solution will be found.
Addressing the media at her Afya House office in Nairobi on Wednesday, Ms. Baraza emphasized government's keenness to ensure all Kenyans afford comprehensive health care under the universal health coverage. On Tuesday, Kenya Union of Clinical Officers leadership vowed to lead its members to a national strike should the national and county governments fail to heed their call for recognition and employment of healthcare providers and practitioners under the Clinical Officers Council and the reinstatement of pre-authorization rights for clinical officers under the Social Health Authority, SHA.
On the issue of facilities, I think that one has largely been addressed, because facilities owned by clinicians, just like facilities owned by any other person, are empaneled, and there's a very elaborate procedure under KPMDC. KPMDC works in collaboration with the other regulators in empaneling facilities. Then they are brought to SHA for contracting.
Joseph Wahungu for Prime Edition.
The Kenyatta National Hospital, in the meantime, has shifted blame to what they say management, or rather management says is the problem with their system. That is, it experienced a system downtime within the facility for failure to attend to some patients. There was drama at the Ministry of Health offices when a section of frustrated Kenyans stormed into their precincts, lamenting the inconveniences caused by SHA in receiving treatment at the Kenyatta National Hospital.
Minutes after the Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Baraza finished her press conference where she highlighted some of the milestones achieved by the Social Health Authority, drama ensued.
This man has a child. Come sit here. He has come all the way from Kibwezi. Come and sit here. His child has swollen a coin.
A woman walked into the office demanding answers over the delay in the approval of the request for the treatment of her child.
There are some complications. Nothing is going to happen unless SHA approves.
We have been in Kenyatta waiting for that portal to open, and it is not opening, it is not working.
Grace Njoki, among other Kenyans, frustrations written on their faces bitterly expressed what they decried as a lack of access to medication at the Kenyatta National Hospital.
Sasa nimetembea all the way from Kenyatta tunaenda mpaka pale SHA House. Fika SHA House tumeingia ofisi gani, go this and the system ziko chini. System ziko chini aje. Pesa inaingia. Ukilipa SHA you are told lipa 6 months upfront. Ukilipa SHA inaingia. Pesa inaingia hiyo ihang. Lakini matibabu hatupati Kenyatta. Sababu ya nini? SHA haifanyi. Sijui OTP haijatumwa, sijui nini.
This, they said, was occasioned by delays and inefficiencies caused by the Social Health Insurance Fund scheme.
Over there were many people working. Hapo Kenyatta wako nje hawasaidiki. Sababu ya nini? Hawezi saidika unless SHA ikuwe approved. Seriously, whoever is in charge, SHA thing, so tusaidie. We are going through a lot.
We've worked in the offices of NHIF. We've gone to all those floors. I've even gone to the ICT department. I've gone to the pre-authorization. They are not able to give us any access. They are not able to get into the portal.
In a quick rejoinder, however, the Kenyatta National Hospital said the inconveniences were caused by a recent system downtime experienced over the last 2 days. To prevent a repeat of the problem, the hospital has announced the deployment of additional personnel across all the affected departments with extended working hours. John Kahiro, Prime Edition.
In a bid to enhance the universal health care, more than 17 million Kenyans have so far been enrolled in the Social Health Authority. At least 13.2 million are new members, while 4.6 million transitioned from the defunct National Health Insurance Fund, NHIF. At the same time, the Ministry of Health has allayed fears of a shortage of drugs, including antiretroviral drugs and BCG vaccines.
Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Baraza on Wednesday outlined the various milestones achieved in the universal health coverage.
17.8 million Kenyans have registered with the Social Health Authority. 13.2 of these are new members, new registrations, while 4.6 million are old members of the defunct NHIF who are transitioned into the Social Health Authority.
Among other key achievements in the rollout of the Social Health Authority are 8 kidney transplants, 8,300 dialysis sessions, and the management of 21,000 oncology cases.
You are working with other agencies, including using the NHIF data, the civil registration of persons, and the NEMIS data integrated to ensure that we add our dependents.
Over 7,900 facilities have signed manual contracts with the Social Health Authority, with 2,602 have already completed e-contracting. According to the ministry, 1,753 facilities are in the process of finalizing the e-contracting process. On the financing of the system, the government has disbursed more than 9 billion shillings to health facilities since October 2024 to ensure a seamless transition. Ministry of Health Health Director General Dr. Patrick Amoth, while hailing the scheme as a transformative in the country's health sector, attributed delays in the reimbursement to incomplete registration.
As much as we call upon Kenyans to be able to ensure that when they register, they complete the entire registration process, including the means testing, which will be able to determine how much an individual household is supposed to pay.
Dr. Amoth at the same time explained the delays in disbursing antiretroviral drugs.
There was a change of the medicines that were being used, specifically DTG, dolutegravir, was being used instead of protease inhibitor, atanavir. So that transition, changing from one medication to another out there, maybe they were not quite informed that now we are using DTG for our clients.
Additionally, the Ministry of Health has committed to procuring more than 2.3 million doses of BCG vaccines by the end of January 2025 to ensure adequate supply.
We are alive to the fact that we have faced a challenge with the BCG vaccine, which is the first vaccine administered together with polio at birth. And we have placed an order and we are going to get 2.34 million doses of BCG vaccine by the end of this month.
John Kahiro, Prime Edition.
We're taking our first breather right here on Prime Edition. Don't go too far. We're coming back with more news, including business and sports.
Hii ishafika na ni kubwa kubwa. Kwani hii Kristi ni bomba na Blue Santa kupitia star 570 hash option 1. Rudia. Star 570 hash option 1. Iko PlayStation 5 na 55 inch TV na iko 500,000 Kenyan shillings. Nambuzi moja. Nambuzi. 1 million Kenyan shillings na Samsung S24 Ultra. Nabuzi moja. Iko 2 million Kenyan shillings na iPhone 16 Pro Max. Nabuzi mbili. Blue Santa amekuja na zawadi kibao. Nani kubwa kubwa. Hapa kuna ndogo ndogo. Hapa Christmas ni bomba.
Welcome back. 12 police officers set to appear before the Milimani High Court on Wednesday for plea taking in the case of baby Samantha Pendo, who was killed during anti-government protests in Kisumu County in 2017, yet again failed to do so. The plea taking was postponed due to the transfer of Lady Justice Lillian Mutende, who had been handling the matter. Details in the Skills of Justice segment.
The family of baby Samantha Pendo will have to wait a little longer for justice. This is after parties were informed by the presiding judge of the Criminal Division of the High Court, Kanyi Kimondo, in chambers that Lady Justice Lillian Mutende, who was handling the case, was transferred to Nyahururu High Court and had handed over to Judge Margaret Muigai. 12 police officers implicated in the case are now expected to appear before Judge Muigai on January 29 to take their place. 6-month-old baby Pendo died after she was shot in the head, allegedly by police officers who stormed her parents' house in Nyalenda Slums, Kisumu County in August 2017. At the Kisumu Law Court, former Kisumu County ICT Director Nico Dhiambo Migot has been arraigned before Chief Magistrate Court, charged with forgery of academic certificates and using them to secure employment with the county government. Appearing before Chief Magistrate Dickson Odhiambo, Migot pleaded not guilty to the charges and was released on a bond of 1 million shillings.
Having balanced his constitutional rights, the nature of the charges, and taken into account that the terms must be commensurate with the nature of the charges, I'll set the bond at 1 million with one surety. I will also call for a prevail report to help the court determine whether it may be reasonable to release the accused on a reasonable cash bail. We can mention on 4th of February for pre-trial.
Ruth Wamboi for Prime Edition.
The head of public service, Felix Koskei, has urged public servants to focus on service delivery to all Kenyans. Koskei spoke during a Thanksgiving service for the public service at the All Saints Cathedral in Nairobi. Cabinet Secretaries Opiyo Wandayi and Alfred Mutua of Labour, a host of over 20 principal secretaries and government officials were in attendance.
At All Saints Cathedral, Nairobi, Head of Public Service Felix Koskei led top government officials, including 2 cabinet secretaries, the secretary to the cabinet, over 20 principal secretaries, and the government spokesperson in a Thanksgiving service to reflect on the government service delivery for the past year of 2024.
The year 2024 was a particularly difficult year for our country in many aspects. The economy faced both global and regional challenges. Our social fabric was tested to the limit as the journey towards democratization continued to gain momentum against the backdrop of youth unemployment.
To execute all that pertains to your offices in this new year.
The team went down on their knees to seek God's intervention for a successful 2025. Koskei used the platform to appreciate the public and the civil service as he called for diligence and accountability.
In your capacity as public servants, the citizens entrust you with enormous resources, trusting that you will manage these resources to their benefits. You are the custodians of public good, and citizens' confidence in the government depends on how well you manage these resources.
Representing cabinet secretaries, Energy CS Opiyo Wandayi reiterated the government's commitment to deliver on its pledges to the people.
And it is upon us to safeguard these gains that we have made with the guidance of God by shunning all negativities, by remaining truthful to our oaths of offices.
They said although there are still serious challenges, the country is heading in the right direction. Give us in Maina, Prime Edition.
To some sad story, a renowned family lawyer and human rights activist, Judy Thongori, has passed away following a short illness. The senior counsel bar in a statement said Thongori died on Tuesday evening while receiving treatment in India, where she had been flown for emergency treatment.
The Kenyan legal fraternity is mourning the demise of renowned Kenyan family lawyer and rights activist Judy Thongori. President William Ruto eulogized the late Thongori as an exceptional advocate and a champion for justice, whose dedication to family and law and human rights touched many lives. The senior counsel bar paid a heartfelt tribute to Thongori, whose career spanned 30 years, highlighting her significant contributions to the legal profession. Sentiments echoed by the Law Society of Kenya. The late Judy Thongori was the founder of Judy Thongori and Company Advocates, a family law firm established in 2003. The family law firm handles matrimony disputes, children matters, and succession cases. She was at one time the deputy director and the head of litigation at the Federation of Women Lawyers in Kenya, FIDA. In 2020, Judy was conferred the rank of senior counsel and was also the first woman to be inducted into the Roll of Honor of the Law Society of Kenya in 2013 in recognition of her selfless service to the legal community. She will also be remembered for winning a landmark case in which she sued the government for not implementing the 2/3 gender rule as required by the Constitution. She also championed for the drafting and implementation of the marriage bill and organized training sessions to sensitize police on the rights of women. In 2023, she was appointed to the Shakahola Massacre Task Force by President William Ruto.
The Mombasa County Executive Committee member for Lands, Mohammed Hussein, has assured squatters living in the port city of a lasting solution to the emotive land issue that is facing them. Let's have a look at that story.
Holding banners with messages concerning their land issues, squatters from the 6 sub-counties in Mombasa gathered outside the county headquarters demanding to see the governor. They lamented that land grabbers were threatening to evict them from their pieces of land, hence calling on the governor to intervene on the matter.
Wanavunjia nyumba zetu, hatuna makao sisi. Wanatudhulumu kila siku mchana kutwa. Magari, polisi wanatuvunjia nyumba zetu. Hatuna amani sisi ngutatu.
Tumepata bwenyenye anatusumbua zaidi ya miaka 20 sasa. Na tunaomba serikali itutetee, tupiganie.
Gavana tulikuwa tunataka kuja tuambie kama zile pesa wamepewa 1.5 billion ama ni kusema tu rais alisema. Ndio tujue hizo pesa sisi tutasaidika nazo namna gani, sababu tunakaa kwa mashamba ambazo wengine tumenunua na tunaambiwa ni squatter, tuko sisi ni masquatter.
Stepping in was the county executive committee member of Lands, Mohammed Hussein, who assured them of an amicable settlement through the newly enacted law of the Ardhi Fund, which is a revolving settlement fund, which will purchase land on behalf of the squatters from the landlords.
Tushazungumza maneno mingi. Paka leo mheshimiwa gavana amekuja na hii sheria ya kuweza kutatua hili janga. Si jambo fupi. Ni safari ambayo imeanza na imefika kilele. Tumekula ng'ombe mzima, tumebakisha mkia. Tafadhalini naomba tuwe na hekima, tuwe na subra ili hii shida itatulike hapa Mombasa.
He called for calmness among the squatters, urging them to be patient as they work to resolve the land issues. For Prime Edition from Mombasa County, I am Anburu.
Star 570 hash. Option 1 kuna PS5 na ni full package na inakuja na JBL Party Box. Hiyo boom experience pia iko.
Hawa si watu wamejuana leo. They must be hiding something.
Hii dunia unaangalia urafiki wa matumbo yako, so kuwa smart.
Jamedani ni rafiki wangu wa siku mingi, siwezi takapoteza urafiki yake.
Hiyo sasa ni kumaanisha nini?
Nyinyi mko na vita mingi sana.
Si Jeni mnapenda naye? Si uniache nitulie. Matel. Finally umeamka. Good morning Queen Jane. Jane, habari ya asubuhi?
I think God is giving me another chance.
Jane, are you okay?
I think ni hizi dawa. Najua Jane anaongea na parables, mimi hata simuelewi.
I think hizo siku mingi alika hospitali ndo zinamuaffect.
Anashinda akisema ati amegundua kila mtu ni muongo. I don't trust anyone. Mpaka mimi yake.
Well, let's turn our eyes to business now. And small-scale farmers are set to benefit from a 6.3 billion shillings funding from the United States Agency for International Development USAID to streamline the agriculture value chain. TechnoServe Deputy Country Director Sebastian Ugema says the fund will create market linkages to minimize post-harvest losses and assist startups in the agriculture value chain to access affordable credit. Frederick Moki has details in the following business news roundup.
a 6.3 billion shilling funding from the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, to streamline the agriculture value chain has been earmarked to empower small-scale farmers in Kenya. TechnoServe Deputy Country Director Sebastian Ogema says the fund will create market linkages to minimize post-harvest losses in the agriculture value chain.
Different sorts of finance. Farmers require different sorts of finance. Those who buy from them require different sorts of finance. Those who process that food require different sort of finance. Those who transport that food require different sort of finance.
Meanwhile, the demand for meat and milk in sub-Saharan Africa is projected to surge by over 250% by 2050. To enhance market access by pastoralists, the African Union Inter-African Bureau for Animal Resources has rolled out the African Pastoral Market Development Platform. The initiative seeks to enhance the resilience of pastoral communities through innovative data-driven approaches.
If we improve the marketing of livestock, then we can make use of the livestock that we have. The other thing which we need is the infrastructural development, value chain development. We have to enhance the value chain from production to marketing and to consumption.
Finally, traders across Africa will now have a chance to trade with greater ease and efficiency following the launch of Umoja Coin, a digital currency specifically designed for cross-border trade on the continent. The digital coin, which was listed on Singapore-based cryptocurrency exchange CoinStore this month, aims at addressing trade barriers such as fluctuating exchange rates and limited access to banking services.
Coin is a digital currency that is paired with USTD and is secure, seamless, and a low transaction fee. So basically, you'd compare it with the old barter trade system where you'd exchange goats with maize, but now you're not trading goats and maize anymore. You can actually send Umoja Coin and somebody receives it instantly, whether you're in Kenya, Ghana, or New York.
Frederick Muki for Prime Edition.
It should be you who's shameful. I didn't agree to go for dinner. The last guy you set me up with, he asked me for a selfie.
I tell you everything about my exes.
All these crappy stories, do you think I want to know?
You didn't wait for me all night, did you? Stupid kid just texted me a location. He didn't give me a room number.
Don't scare her. It's okay. Don't listen to him. It's just an internship. There aren't that many requirements.
Welcome back. Let's do some sports. And just before we began the broadcast for Prime Edition, we were live from the Kenyatta International Convention Center, where the African Nations Championship 2024 draw was ongoing. Group A has Kenya. Of course, is a pamoja bid that brings together Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, where Kenya is in Group A, Tanzania in Group B, Uganda in Group C. But very quickly, in Group A, Kenya has Morocco, Angola, DR Congo, and Zambia. And the former Harambee Stars player, now the vice president of FKF, says it's a death group because Kenya has to work hard towards that. Group B has Tanzania, Madagascar, Mauritania, Burkina Faso, the Central African Republic, that is CAR. Group C has Uganda, Niger, and Guinea, and there are two positions remaining because that one will be determined after the qualifiers. There are two more slots that will be determined after the qualifiers. And then in Group D, we have Senegal, Congo, Sudan, and Nigeria. And that's how the CHAN 2024 will be played. And just remember that the CHAN 2024 has been postponed from February, and now it will be played in August. And it will be hosted or co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Former Kenya Sevens captain Vincent Onyala has been included in the national men's sevens team that will head to Australia for the Perth Sevens, scheduled to take place from the 24th to 26th of January 2025. The team, which had been training in Nakuru before they relocated to the RFUEA this week, will leave on Saturday for Australia.
Onyala Uko captained Kenya the Paris 2024 Olympics, has not featured in the team since they returned to the HSBC series due to contract issues with the Kenya Rugby Union, but will now join his teammates in time for the third leg. Brian Tanga, who has been nursing injuries, is also back in the squad that will be co-captained by Samuel Asati and George Oro.
We've had a week's camp in Nakuru, where we just had the time to sit down as a team, shake off the Christmas meals and get down to business, which was analyzing our games in Dubai and Cape Town, and also just looking at what the opposition is going to bring to us.
We focused more on the tactical aspect, and the boost from Onyala, Tony and Tanga, I believe brings leadership and experience to the team. So I believe we are at a good place.
Others in the squad include Tony Omondi, who joined them in Cape Town, with Kevin Wekesa, Patrick Ondogo, William Mwanji, Dennis Ambukuse, Nigel Amaita, Festus Shiashi, Ben Salim and Floyd Obire, completing the 13-man traveling squad. Shujaa drawn in Pool C alongside powerhouses Fiji, New Zealand and Uruguay, with their first match against New Zealand next week on Friday. For Prime Edition Sports, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
Tusker FC beat Bandari by a solitary goal in the FKF Midweek Premier League matches, which saw them take the pole position in the standings. The lone goal was scored by Thomas Omole in the 17th minute at the Kenyatta Stadium. Tusker now lead with 30 points, with KCB in the second place, 3 points adrift. Kenya Police FC beat relegation threatened Posta Rangers 3-2 to move to the third position in the league as Rangers' losing streak continued. Posta Rangers midfielder Mwenye Kibwana netted the first goal in the 3rd minute before Brian Musa equalized 3 minutes later. Police went ahead in the second half through Alfred Leku, but Rangers drew level again through Olivia Maloba in the 69th minute. However, forward Marvin Nabuire scored the winner for Police FC to cement a win in injury time. The Kenya Judo Federation President Shadrack Maluki has been re-elected chairman at the African Judo Union during the Ordinary General Assembly in Casablanca, Morocco. The new team will lead the development of African Judo for the next 4 years.
Maluki, who is also the Vice President of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, was re-elected unopposed following the withdrawal of other candidates before the vote.
Today is a big day for us as the continent because we all love judo. We are here for that passion of loving the sport. Passionately, let us take it to the next level so that we can actually be at that podium during the Olympics.
He was the first elected chairman in 2021 and has vowed to uplift the sport across the globe by working closely with the International Judo Union to organize major international championships in the continent.
My role is to work in close collaboration with the President together with the Executive Committee to carry out the tasks assigned by the President in order to achieve the objectives of the Pan-African Judo Union.
Siteni Niaiko from Madagascar was re-elected as the president after acclamation of the 32-member countries, while Estoni Pregion of Botswana and Chafik El Ketani of Morocco were also re-elected as the General Secretary and the General Treasurer respectively.
It's not about having a competition. It's having our family to help each other, to support each other, to grow together, and one day our dream will come true.
The new team will lead the development of Africa Judo for the next 4 years. For Prime Edition Sports, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
Time for us to put a cap on Prime Edition, but just very quickly, some news that has just come in. And it's breaking news, really, because after months of negotiations and years of civil, or what you would call military engagements by the Israeli government in Palestine, there's finally a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. And that means then we can see some semblance of normalcy in the Western Bank as well as the Gaza Strip that has come under heavy bombardment from the Israeli military. This is where we put a cap on Prime Edition. Thank you very much for joining us. And so Dingo was our sign language interpreter. Good night.
Christmas ni sahi ishafika.